there Sunday afternoon last year, where I got all these suggestions at me thrown in for a custom written radio play.
Oh yes, remember that.
This is that radio play.
It's all your fault!
Yay!
Sorry.
What was the synopsis outline again then?
Stuff happens.
Resolution.
I hope that all the bits that you suggested are in here.
But how will we know whether or not they are if you don't tell us?
Because you probably go, yes, that was my idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
like you're
that
going
was
to
your
remember
idea.
a year ago.
You could put any old rubbish down.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen.
He frequently does.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Armadacon Press Gang Players present a copyright infringement production of Space 1889. The story so far, as the moon was passing a strange planet, Mayonnaise and Professor Gregor McGregor, PhD and Bar, were dispatched from Lunar Fortress Alpha to claim the planet for the British Empire. As our heroes were exploring a mysterious island, an evil presence has wrecked the Eagle. We joined the stranded duo in Episode 2, Ring Around the Anus.
I say, the loss of the Eagle was a bit of a setback.
How bad is the damage?
The wiring is completely ruined. It's such a mess it will make spaghetti look neat.
Can we still make contact with Lunar Fortress Alpha?
Sadly, no.
What about our combination devices?
Uses the Eagle's relay.
So we're completely on our own then?
Not quite. Something ruined the Eagle. We must find out what caused the damage.
Among the vast array of lush vegetation, home to a myriad of insects, the two alphas drawn their incapacitated guns and enter the stricken Eagle.
You're right, Professor. The wiring is a mess.
Something did this.
A creature? Perhaps.
Most likely a small, furry rodent with a big bushy tail and sharp teeth.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Because one's just run up my trouser leg.
I'll turn myself into a ferret and catch it for you.
Don't trouble yourself, my dear. The creature will be out soon.
How do you know that, Professor?
I've just started.
Only missing a water beetle who's looking for a more agreeable habitat, a furry red creature falls from Gregor McGregor's trouser leg, choking and gasping for breath.
What a stench! Why are you eating cabbage?
Professor! A talking squirrel!
Oh, there's something you don't see every day.
You need a full tree, matey.
You want a boot where the sun don't shine, rodent?
Professor! Wait!
Give me one good reason.
It's a talking squirrel!
And?
Squirrels don't normally talk.
Squirrels aren't normally sarcastic either.
Shouldn't we investigate?
You're right, my dear.
Professor McGregor releases the furry creature. The choking rodent collapses on the artificial carpet of the Eagle. Elsewhere on the foliage-covered island, trouble is brewing.
Milady, Agent Red has completed its task.
Excellent! Now those aliens will depart our island and leave us in peace!
Unfortunately, milady, Agent Red may have misunderstood your instructions.
The instructions were simple, cretin! Annoy the hell out of the aliens!
Agent Red did indeed annoy the aliens. However, the offending squirrel annoyed the aliens by rendering their transportation beyond repair. Thus, they cannot leave.
Typical! Absolutely typical! You send a simple creature to do a simple task and they still can't get it right!
Squirrels were never the brightest of creatures, milady.
How about the brightest of 5-watt bottle?
Yes, milady.
What's the name of this idiotic squirrel? I shall have it shot upon its return!
Red, milady.
Red the red squirrel?
From the Isle of Wight, milady.
I should have known, cretin! Nothing from the Isle of Wight that has an IQ higher than an amoeba! take more drastic action.
Meanwhile, back at the leafy clearing, where the stricken eagle lies amongst the undulating canopy of the native deciduous trees, Mayonnaise and Professor Gregor McGregor, PhD at Bar, have gaffer taped the red squirrel to a chair and are asking questions.
Well, Mr. Squirrel?
Red.
Mr. Red Squirrel?
No, my name is Red.
Red? The red squirrel?
That's right.
Must have come from the Isle of Wight or something.
I've heard that nothing very intelligent comes from there.
Oh, wait, that's enough of that.
We certainly had enough of you.
You started it.
Rubbish.
You did. You landed on this island.
Roll Britain.
Hang on. We landed on this island in order to claim it for the British Empire.
God save the Queen!
The Queen!
Rule Britannia,
Steady on, girl. Remember, you're an alien from another planet.
which was claimed for the British Empire.
Oh, great. An empire built and an immigrant.
Thanks to this verbal, we're stuck on this island.
Sucks be to you.
Listen up, Pipsqueak. Our moon is drifting past this planet. We can only stay here for a day. We only wanted to plant our flag on this island, do some exploring, and then leave.
So I've ruined everything then.
You certainly have.
My boss isn't going to be happy.
Right, other talking red squirrels on the island?
Ah, no, my boss isn't a squirrel. She's a shithouse.
You're talking crap?
No, you don't understand. She's human, and her name is Lady Davina Minor Shithouse.
Anyone else on the island?
Only a cretin.
That's stupid.
Again, you misunderstand. Lady Davina's butler is called Cretin.
I take it you do Lady Davina's bidding?
Only on eBay.
That's it. The squirrel dies.
Hey.
Stop! This squirrel is our only link to getting help.
You're right, my dear.
You won't get any help from Minor Shithouse. She's the one who sent me to here to annoy you.
Well, you've certainly succeeded in doing that.
Professor, I have an idea.
Go on, my dear.
I can shape-shift into the double of this squirrel, go to Lady Davina's residence, and see if I can find the tools to repair the eagle.
Absolutely spiffing idea. I'll accompany you on the journey.
While some creatures mimic the features of left edible insects, Mayonnaise morphs into a duplicate of the Wed Squirrel. The Professor and the duplicate exit the fluffy fauna witch clearing and begin their journey to Lady Davina's residence.
Hey, if nobody minds, I don't want to spend the rest of the day taking the fucking chair.
Meanwhile, back at the bouquet of tulips and roses, festooned Minor Shithouse residence.
Cretin?
Yes, my lady?
Still no word from Agent Squirrel?
No, my lady.
Since no word has been heard from Agent Squirrel will be hearing from me.
How do you propose to locate and deal with Agent Squirrel, my lady?
I will go to Agent Squirrel's last known location and pick up the trail from there.
I'll fetch the rolls, my lady.
I'm going on a squirrel hunt, not a picnic, cretin.
Sorry, my lady.
I will be travelling with a bodyguard of radioactive spiders.
And what of myself, my lady?
You will remain here. If that squirrel returns, you are free to deal with it as you wish. Consider it a treat.
Oh, goody, my lady.
Meanwhile, in the shrubbery surrounding clearing, Mayonnaise and Professor Gregor McGregor, PhD at Bar, have discovered the Minor Shithouse residence.
Well, here we are. We better be careful. There could be trouble ahead.
I better go alone. The squirrel was sent to annoy us into leaving. If you came with me, Lady Minor Shithouse might not get the joke.
All right, you are. I'll stay here.
Suddenly, through the neatly twinned privet hedges that surrounded the baroque Minor Shithouse residence, Lady Davina is seen leaving with a dozen radioactive spiders.
Cracky! What the hell are they?
He looks like something out of a bad sci-fi comedy film.
Eight-legged freaks?
That's the one.
Are they dangerous?
They're the rare Isle of Wight CGI spider. They have abilities beyond the bounds of stop motion.
Holy Ray Harryhausen.
We'll let them pass and I'll follow them. You go on to Lady Davina's residence. You've only the butler to deal with.
Okay.
In a fade to black passage of time transition, skip to time-lapse photography, akin to time-lapse photography of a flower erupting into a bloom. Lady Davina arrives at the stricken eagle.
Help! Help!
Agent Red, just what do you think you're doing?
Calling for help, what else?
Just how did you manage to get gaffer tape to the chair?
The same way you gaffer tape press into a coffee table.
That was an accident.
It still took 5 reels to do it.
Well, he won't stop wriggling around.
Do me a favour, release me from the chair.
Certainly not. You have failed me.
How so?
You were sent here to annoy the aliens until they left.
You didn't mention the until the left bit.
That's not the point. You wrecked their flying machine and now they can't leave.
I'm not bloody annoyed about it.
I'm going to give you one last chance. I want you to repair this machine so that the aliens can leave.
That's impossible.
You broke it, you fix it.
It's still impossible.
What's that?
I'm still gaffer tape to this frigging chair.
Meanwhile, through the pollen-laden haze that hangs over the neatly twinned capability ground gardens, mayonnaise in the skies and the wet squirrel from the Isle of Wight enters the home of Lady Miner's shithouse.
Virgin Squirrel, the lady is most displeased with you.
Oh, how come?
It appears you ruined the alien's flying machine.
How did you know that?
The lady's radioactive spiders are everywhere.
That still doesn't tell me how you know.
The spiders have radios.
So you found out by walkie-talkie?
Quite.
So what happens now?
The lady has given me permission to do with you as I please.
Kinky.
As I am a humble servant in the pay of the shithouse, the dumps, it is my pleasure to have you repair the stranded flying machine so the aliens can depart and leave Milady and myself in peace.
Without.
Excuse me?
It's a bit of a long story, but I was hoping to come here and find some tools to fix the flying machine with.
Very well. I shall go with you and assist with the toolkit.
Excellent.
And I shall fetch the rolls.
We're fixing a spaceship, not going on a picnic.
Oh, honestly.
Meanwhile, there's been a development at the site of the stricken eagle. The radioactive spiders have been rummaging through the undergrowth and have captured Professor McGregor, PhD at Bath, and have brought him before Lady Davina Miner's shithouse.
Well done, my spiders. You have brought me a prisoner.
I'm surprised you didn't try to eat me.
They're secondary vegetarians.
Secondary vegetarians?
They only eat herbivores.
Who are you?
I am Lady Davina Miner's shithouse, and you are trespassing on my land.
I am Professor McGregor, PhD, and Bar. Sorry about the trespassing bit. We just wanted to claim the planet for the British Empire. And this island looked like a good place to land.
My dear, this planet is already part of the British Empire, for I am also British.
I say, just how did you get here?
Cretton the butler and myself arrived here because of a plot discrepancy.
I won't ask for an explanation.
Quite wise, I would be here all day. Just how did you get here?
The moon was blasted out of the Earth's orbit when it decided to leave the European Union.
Bloody foreigners!
We've been wandering through space ever since.
Doing some empire building along the way. Anyway, I must apologise for Agent Squirrel's behaviour. It wasn't supposed to wreck your flying machine, only to annoy you until you left.
Agent Squirrel?
Makes little furball feel important.
Well, we still can't leave. Our eagle's still wrecked.
Even as we speak, Agent Squirrel is repairing your flying machine.
Through a cloud of disturbed insects, Cretin and the duplicate wed the wed squirrel, the wise through the localised ecosystem.
The cavalry have arrived, milady.
What are you doing here, cretin?
It was my pleasure to aid Agent Squirrel in the repair of the flying machine.
Agent Squirrel, how do you manage to sneak away and get a toolkit?
That's a trade secret.
I suggest you get inside and start the repairs, my dear.
I'll begin right away, Professor.
You're a little informal with Agent Squirrel, Professor. Is there something we don't know?
There is, but I'm not at liberty to say that.
Deviant.
The duplicate squirrel enters the stricken eagle by pushing aside a climbing ivy and making the craft its home. It is immediately spotted by the real Agent Squirrel.
So, you're back, you dumb doppelganger.
Look, I'm here to help.
You left me gaffer taped to a chair.
We didn't want you wandering off and spoiling our plan.
Well, I've got news for you. Your plan has already been spoiled.
Huh?
Lady Shithouse released me so I could fix your flying machine.
That's what I'm here to do.
Well, I fixed your flying machine and now I'm going to fix you.
Outside in the bright sunshine and the photosynthesizing vegetation, Lady Davina Cretin and Professor McGregor heard the sounds of fighting squirrels coming from the eagle.
Ow, oh, ah,
Milady, there appears to be some sort of dispute from within the flying machine.
Squirrel fight!
I'll soon sort this out with my pepperpox derringer.
Oh goody, an execution.
No good. Mayonnaise,
Hey,
I'll explain in 6 shots time.
Without concern for damage to the fragile fauna that lay nearby, the trio rushed into the eagle. Lady Davina draws her dowager.
there's 2 Agent Squirrels.
Double trouble, milady.
If you're going to shoot a squirrel, just make sure you shoot the right one.
Lady Davina's pistol erupts like dandelions on a windy day with 6 shots into the squirrel on the white.
Mayonnaise, are you okay?
No, I'm the red squirrel.
Oh God, the eagle is plastered in mayonnaise.
She shot the wrong squirrel.
Well, none of this would have happened to once you meddling aliens. Now I want a detailed explanation.
I'll put the kettle on, milady.
Professor McGregor began his detailed explanation, but we're not going to bother him with it here, as it will bore the crap out of everyone. Suffice to say, Lady Davina, minus Shithouse, and Credit left the Eagle as Professor McGregor, PhD, and Bar prepared to take off. However, both Lady Davina and Cretin were burnt to a crisp as they stood by the Eagle's rear engines as the Professor took off. As for the Professor and the Red Squirrel, well, the Professor took off while Red was doing repairs. The main engines failed shortly after takeoff. The Eagle crashed into the radioactive spiders. There were no survivors. So tune in next time and not here.
I'm not doing this again in the bloody hurry.
Not being typecast.
Can I just mention that this was my first radio play?
Have we voted for this?
We should have gone with the play that Alan Marks suggested.
None of this and even less in the next exciting adventures of Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity! Yay!